back on. Sorry about that. Um, the thing about the thing about sponsorship jobs is knowing which trust that you need to apply to. You don't just apply to any trust. It's not all trusts that are currently offering sponsorship. So you need to know what trust you're actually applying to. First things first, I say to all my clients that do the one-to-one consultation with me is that you need to ensure that you've called them. The name of the recruiting manager is on the job advert. So I would always suggest that you call the recruiting manager to see if they're actually offering sponsorship. From there, you know, is it worth your time? Especially if you need that sponsorship, is it worth your time applying for those roles if they're not going to be offering you sponsorship? Because for a lot of us or a lot of people, sponsorship is the goal. Sponsorship is the goal for a lot of people because you've come on this skilled worker and your time limit is coming to an end and you need that continuity. You don't want to be an illegal person in the country, so you need to ensure that your status is regularized as quickly as possible. And with the NHS, a lot of a lot of people are out there that are looking for jobs. I know with the government, they are trying to ensure that people that get the skilled worker visas or people that are getting the COSs are the people that are currently in the UK. So it's more to do with people that are currently in the UK that would get those sponsorships. So I would encourage you to look for those trusts that are currently what's it called, offering sponsorship. Sorry. So that's the answer to your question. I'll get to you on TikTok. That was a YouTube question. Running it. Okay. Um, I hope I've been able to answer all your questions, Dina, on YouTube. Please let me know if I've been able to answer all your questions. Okay, so let's go to TikTok and see. Expensive asks, do you help people to apply? Yes, I help people to apply. If you want me to help you to apply, expensive, email me. This is my email address. It's the human resources playbook at gmail.com. I'm going to have to change the way I put the dots. I wouldn't put the dots, and the at sign would be removed as well because um, the at sign will be removed because of the TikTok censorship of that email address. Jane, I'm sorry, I would come back to you with regards to that. Let me just answer them on, I would answer them on, what's it called, TikTok, and I'll come back to you. So that's expensive. I've come back to you with my email address. If you need me to help you to apply, that's my email address. This is my email address, Dina, on YouTube. Yeah. So that's my email address. I'll come back to you, Dina. Just give me 2 ticks. Um, so I've replied to you, expensive, about me helping people to apply. Yes, I help people to apply on a one-to-one consultancy basis. Yes, I do that. Hadi Yinka. How you guys just write your name? How you formulate these names is always just amazing to me. Gidi, an interview in NHS mental health. You need my help. Adeyinka, I can help you with interview prep. This is my email address. I've sent it to forgotten the name now. To expensive. Just is the same email address. Just email me at the human resources playbook at gmail.com. I'm replying to you now at with my email address. So Adeyinka, yeah, it's quite funky nice. I like it. I really like it. So yes, I've replied to you. So yes, I can help you with mental health because the trust I currently work in is a mental health trust, and I do interviews. I have I'm on holiday right now, so you can see my swimming costume underneath here, and what's it called? My sarong also. And I just thought, let me just come on live quickly before my children come to drag me out again, which they need to come and take their little brother to go and have his dinner. But yes, so yes, I do help people up, and I'm really sorry, guys. Once I'm back in the UK, you would know the difference between my internet connection and being on holiday. But I thought this would just be a very good opportunity for me since I have more time to to be able to chat and sit with you guys more, to be able to connect with you guys more. And I was hoping that this holiday would be an good opportunity for me to do this, but the signal has been really, really bad. But yes, I do help people to apply. My trust is the mental health trust, and I have interviews. They've already sent me interviews, got slots for Tuesday and I think Friday that I'm meant to be interviewing. So I do interviews on a regular basis, and I think this one is a band 8B role that I'm interviewing for on those 2 days. So yes, I do interviews. So if you do need help with that, let me know at Yinka, and I've sent you my email address. Um, Thanks for the follow, and you guys tap on the screen so we can get more people to come onto this room. Hi, Daniel. Hi, Daniel. Scotland, England is the same thing. It doesn't matter. It's the same NHS. We're one big family. It's just like having a big tree and we have branches. That's how I want to describe the NHS. It's a big tree with loads of branches. So no matter, even if it's in Scotland, even if it's in Ireland, even wherever it is, it's the NHS. The NHS is one. Yeah, it doesn't matter. We can always go through that. So yeah, we'll talk. Once you email me, send me your number and we'll take it from there, Adeyinka. So Dina, let's see. Can we go back to your question? Let me see if I can go back to your question. Ah, my laptop. What's going on with this? Dina, I'm hoping that you can hear me. Dina, are you still there? Can you hear me? Just tap yes or Y or something, or send a heart to the chat. Let me know if you're still here so I don't repeat myself. Okay, you can always go and watch a replay, anyways. But Dina, you said you followed my guidelines. You're looking for a role as a physiotherapist in the UK, and I said to you that you should look at applying for band 5 roles. If you're looking, you followed my guidance, and I asked you if you have gotten shortlisted for any interviews using my guidelines. Then the third one was about any tips about sponsorship, and I did say to you that with regards to sponsorship, you have to really take your time, because doing those applications does take time. So you need to really be strategic about how you're applying for roles. So what I would advise you, once you see a role that you're really interested to, that go to that page, bottom of the advert, you will see the name of the recruiting manager. You can easily, they always put either their telephone number or their email address there. Either one, I would say preferably call them and ask them if they offer sponsorship for that role. Because of the new threshold now, and I'm not even sure with regards to different roles, it depends on what the role is and how much the sponsorship would be. So I would say, with regards to that, I would say that speak to them and see if they sponsor. If they sponsor, then you can invest your effort into doing that application. That's what I would advise you to do. Oh, you're saying you're not getting shortlisted. Are you sure you're following my what's it called, my template in terms of how to structure and how to answer that? As part of the consultation, well, as part of the consultation thing that I do as well, is help people shortlist. I mean, sorry, not shortlist. I shortlist on a regular basis, but help people write their supporting statements. That's part of the things I do on a day-to-day basis. Hence the reason why I sent you my email address. My email address is the Human Resources Playbook. That's it on top of your message there. Send me an email with your telephone number and I'll call you and we'll discuss how I can help you write your supporting statement and how I can help you also prepare for interviews, and also check your application form as well, because you might be missing some things in your application form. So yes, that's part of the role that I do in my consultation one-to-one. So yes. Okay, I think I've answered Dina's question. But yeah, people on TikTok, Oh my goodness. People on TikTok are also asking questions. I don't know what's wrong with this thing. People on TikTok are also asking questions. So yes. Mm, oh yes, I don't think I've missed anybody's question. If I've missed your question, just say hi and I'll try and look for the follow guys. And so does anybody else have any questions? Does anybody else have any questions with regards to the NHS? Thanks for coming in. Thanks for coming in. Everyone come in, tap on the screen and let's get more people into this room. Let's get more people into this room. Just messaging one of my clients. Sorry, guys. I don't want them to feel as if I'm abandoning them while I'm doing my live. So, yes. Okay. Yeah, we will get there, Dina. We would get you something. It's just about strategizing. But what bands are you looking for? What bands are you really even applying to? Hi, God Rains. How are you? I'm very well, thank you. I'm doing very well. Thank you very much, God Rains. How are you doing? How are you doing, God Rains? So, Dina, what bands are you looking for in terms of roles that you're applying to? So, at least that would be the starting point for us. What bands are you looking for? What bands of roles are you looking for? Mm. Hi, God Rains. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you. Oh, that's good. I'm glad to hear that. Yes. Hi, guys. Hi, hi, hi. With this really bad internet connection. Oh, yeah, okay. I've been applying to band six on your level of experience would determine if a band six would be for you to be able to be shortlisted. So depending, we do it based on experience. That's what I said to you that when we're shortlisting, there are different criteria that we're looking for, especially when there are lots of things that have been written in the essential criteria. So those are the kind of things I would ask if you're working with me one to one. If you're working on each of the what's it called, we'll be going in each of the person specification, we'll be going into it one by one, and I'll be asking you those tough questions. Can you do this? Can you do this? Can you do this? Explain to me how you meet this criteria. So that's the service that you get from me in terms of that consultation service. So yes, okay, yeah, I'll be able to explain more, Dina, Din Ann. I'll be able to explain more if you come on to join me in the consult. Yes. Um, so yeah. So I hope I'm not missing anybody's question. So God reigns, you want me to run a live session on supporting statements. That is my bread and butter. That is how I make my money. If I give you all my secrets in a live session, you wouldn't want to come and employ me to help you write your supporting statement, would you? If I've given you all the nuggets. So I've given enough. I think I've given really good quality supporting statement information online in my YouTube channel. So if you want to hear about supporting statement, we want to hear about my supporting statements methodology, and I've gotten a lot of feedback from the supporting information that I have online. If you want to hear more about it, you will need to watch my videos on YouTube. I already have two videos. I updated one. I think I did one the year. That was one of my first videos, and I recently, I think a couple of weeks ago, maybe like last month or 2 months now, I'm not even sure. Maybe the summer or maybe early September, I must have done another updated supporting statement information. So yes. Okay. Okay. So, okay. Yeah. So yeah. A live stream. God reigns. That's quite tricky for me to do a live stream on supporting state information. I think I've done live streams on Band 5 mental health nurse interview questions and answers. I can do a lot of that. I can do a lot of all those questions and answers on the live stream and all that. So yes, I can do a lot of that. Yeah. So yeah. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. But if you do need help with writing your supporting statement, God reigns, let me know. I do offer that one-to-one service to help people write their supporting statements. Yeah, do let me know, and I'll be more than happy to help you. This is my email address. It will be written in a funny way because of what's it called? Because of TikTok um sanctioning my email address. So yes, I've given you my email address if you need it to contact me. So if anybody else needs my email address, it's there. Oh, I'm glad, Dina. I'm glad. Oh, I think this is, yeah, it's still the same person. Yeah, I can imagine with the rejection emails. I've gotten a few of those in my time as well. It's a normal process for NHS jobs for you to get those unfortunately unsuccessful emails from NHS job. They are quite demoralizing and depressing. But what I want you to do is always just dust yourself up and just go again. Just dust yourself up and go again. Yeah. Okay. We're seeing that some comments are filtered. Maybe that was my email address because I don't even think I can see my reply to you now. God reigns. But if you scroll up somewhere on this, you should see my email address written. And let me even check to make sure it's written. Has everyone gotten my email address? I'm trying to see if I can even see it on anybody's reply. Yeah, I'm. I Adeyinka's email. I replied her and sent her my email address. So if you scroll up, you should be able to see my email address. So, Adeyinka, does that mean that you have my email address? Can you see it, or do you need me to send it again? Let me just be sure. Anonymous Cinema. Hold on. I think. Okay, you saw it. Okay, that's good. Anonymous Cinema said, "Do you have a right to increase salary to meet the threshold for COS?" I think that's a really good question, Anonymous Cinema. Does the manager have the right to increase the salary threshold? Okay, let me explain to you how recruitment works in the NHS. In the team now, we have schedule or we have numbers of people that we're meant to apply. I mean, that are meant to work in that team. So we can say we have 3 band 4s, 3 band 5s, 3 band 6, 3 band 7s, and 3 band 8s A's in that team. And the manager realizes that he needs band fours, maybe he needs 4 band 4s or 5 band 4s. They can easily convert one of those band 5 roles into a band 4 role or 2 band 4 roles, depending on how they want to mix and match it. And they can easily mix and match it. But once we've advertised a role, each role is attached to a number or a certain number within the system. And that role gets sent to finance and it gets sent to the heads of the department, like directors, to sign off on it and HR to sign off on it. Once we've signed off on it, it goes through the system. And because the NHS is a public funded body, all these things have to be chess. So in each role, guys, in the NHS. So in the pay scales, there are different brackets that each pay falls into. If the pay scale for that, for example, between 25,000 and 29,000, the manager is able to use his discretion, bearing in mind he still has to go through a committee, excuse me, he has to go through a committee to approve to approve the level that that person would be on. The reason why I say this is because if you're the NHS as a new fresh person, each of the NHS, oh, it's finally opened. In each of the NHS, come on, in each of the NHS bands, there are steps. So there's entry step, there's intermediate step, and there's the top step. So for a band five, the entry step is 31,049, and that is across the whole of the NHS. Intermediate step is 33,480 top points or top, and the top is 37,796 pounds. So the manager, based on your question, Anonymous Cinema, the manager increase the band. The manager can increase the salary, but you would look. I already show you based on my previous pay that I'm already so and so amounts. So that might be your argument to be able to get to the top, to get to the intermediate level, instead of just being a band five, especially for so for band five, the entry would now be 37,259. The midpoint would now be 40,185. And the highest point, the top point, would now be 45,500. I mean, 45,356. So that's how they can increase salary at different points. But for you to be able to get those increments in a way before the normal increment process, because increment processes for the NHS is based on years. So at the first year, I think the first 2 years, you don't get an increment. You said at that point. By the third year, you should be able to move on to money increment. So increment points, you move up, but you don't get money attached to it with the first 2 years on each at each point. So What that means is that, sorry, I'm so sorry that my internet is cutting out. So at the entry level, if you are working in London, you get additional money attached to your salary. You know, I said at the beginning that the entry point for a band 5 is 31,049. But if you work in London, the entry salary, because you get inner London waiting, would be 37,259, which unfortunately is still below the minimum amount of money that you need to be able to get sponsored. I think it's actually in the 40s now. So you really need to, for you to get a band 5 role that you can even sponsor your, for the skilled worker visa, you need at least top point if you're working in London for a band 5, where the top point is in a London waiting is £45,356 for your salary. So that's how the manager can try and increase the salary for you in London. That's for London. But if you are going to be based outside London, or even if you are going to be based in the outer parts of London, you wouldn't be able to get that amount of money because it's so different. Because the entry point for outer London is, the entry is 35,763, the midpoint is 38,511, and the top is 43,466. So really, you should really be aiming for the top point. But there are ways to argue salary when you're going into the NHS, which is something I can help with as well. So yeah, you guys are not tapping on the screen and you're not letting other people come into this live. Yes, so I hope I've answered your question, Anonymous Cinema. I know I did go round in circle a bit, but I hope I've answered your question. Um, ah, Cathy Darling 32. This is a very good question. Do you encourage the use of AI for NHS application? Thank you so much for this. I was I was having a consultation with one of my clients yesterday or 2 days ago, and I did say I was going to leave that job up for the use of AI. Oh my goodness, I hope I haven't closed it yet. I'm just trying to look for that application that we were about to start for that my clients. Sorry about this. Sorry about that. I was watching something on YouTube. Um, I'm trying to find the application I was doing for that person where it talks about the use of AI. Where are you? Which one is this one? No, the wrong one. Don't tell me I've closed it. Oh my goodness, I'll be so upset with myself if I've closed that job adverts. I think I might have closed it. I'm so upset. I'm so upset if I've closed it. I'm so upset. Is it this one? Nope. It's not that one. It's not that one. It's not that one. Oh no, that's not it. That's somebody's application form. I think this one. Let me see this St. Thomas's one that I was doing as well. Oh, I'm so upset. It clearly stated it in there. I was doing an application for a role in St. Thomas's, and as part of the criteria or as part of what was said in that application is you need to declare if you've used AI. If they find out that that you didn't declare that you've used AI and you apply for the role and they shortlist you, first they will not even shortlist you because you've lied about it. That means you don't even have integrity. So if you've used AI in any form, you need to declare it for them. If they now find out that you did not, if you managed to pass the shortlisting stage, and they now find out, they'll probably ask you during the interview as well, and you now lie again, that's fine. They now later find out by one way or the other that you've actually used AI to do that application, they're going to withdraw the offer if you get that job. They've clearly stated it there on their thing. And I'm so upset that I've closed that page. I was like, I am so leaving this on for people because I get that question a lot about the use of AI. The use of AI. Can we use AI? Can we use AI? There's nothing wrong with using AI. Truthfully, there's nothing wrong with using AI. But a lot of people don't use it in the right way. And a lot of trust don't like it. If the trust is telling you that they don't want you to use AI, don't use it. If they specifically mention it in the advert that don't use AI, don't use it. One of the trusts I've worked in, we would check if you've used AI to write your supporting information because we have a software to check for this. We would check if you've used AI. Sorry, I'm just trying. We would check if you've used AI to write your supporting information. So there is no point in you using it and lying about it. If they find that you used it and you lied about it, that means you don't even have integrity. They would not even want to consider you as an applicant in their trust. So I would always suggest for you to be truthful. If you've used it, they'll just tell you to declare it and just declare it and let the cat fall wherever it falls. Especially when they've said don't use it. Don't use it. The civil service, more and more, they are now allowing you to use AI. They will tell you you can actually use it in the civil service, but not the NHS. So please be careful when you're using AI in your application. I'm so upset with myself that I've closed that page. Okay, I'm just trying. I have a lot of things opened on my page. Yeah, so I hope I've been able to answer that question for Kathleen Darling 32. Yeah, I hope I've been able to answer that. Um, and what if you use AI to rewrite for corrections? To rewrite for corrections, just make sure that AI doesn't change. You also wanted me to give you some tips of writing supporting statement as an evening gift. I can give you tips. You said you watch my videos. That's more than enough tips for you to be able to write a perfect supporting statement. But I do that one-to-one consultation. You need to make sure that you're looking at each of the criteria, then writing it out in perfectly. I think that's the best way I can say it. And I think I've even given so much away in my videos. So yeah, that's the answer to that question. Um, God reigns as well. You asked the same question that Kathleen Dallin had, and I've answered that question about the use of AI for NHS application. Oh, you're welcome, Anonymous Cinema. You're welcome. Um, you've seen some applications that states the use of AI. Is it the use of AI is allowed? If it does say that, if they've said away from it, please stay away from it. Okay? Coke Boy 77, do you do one-to-one coaching? Yes, I do. Coke Boy, I'm going to give you my email address. I'm going to reply to you my email address. Just look at it and send me an email with your telephone number. I've removed the signs in there so that TikTok doesn't ban my TikTok doesn't ban my so Coke Boy, I've sent you my email address. So busy talk and I'm getting extremely busy. If you want me to help you with anything, you need to get in quick. You need to get in quick. He slept again. He's falling back asleep. Yeah. So how do I see career opportunities in the NHS? So that's from me. Me as an ME on TikTok is asking, how do you see career opportunities? You will need to go to NHS Jobs. You will need to go to Track Jobs. You will need to go to we sometimes go to LinkedIn, yes, but we normally just go to Track Jobs. Yes. Does the NHS recruit students part time? That's from Mentee D Joyce. I would say I'm really sorry about that. Sorry. I'm really sorry about that, Dina. It's really bad. And I'm hoping that in the next couple of days when I'm back home, we'll have a better live session where we don't have interrupted service, because this service, I'm not very impressed. So going back to Mentee D Dios's Mentee D Dios's question about if the NHS recruits students. Yes, the NHS recruits students. I would actually suggest this is a really great way of healthcare assistance, cleaners, degrading jobs for some people. It might, but every aspect of worker within the NHS contributes something to the NHS, and that is an entryway for you to get into the NHS. So those kind of band two roles, if you're still a student, you can work 20 hours, and those roles are always flexible. They are part-time roles, and that's a way for you to put your feet into the NHS. It doesn't matter if you're a cleaner now, you can end up becoming the CEO, because we've had so much success stories about the way NHS has transformed a lot of people's life. So you can always work yourself from your ground up. So working those kind of roles, the band threes, the band two roles in the NHS, does help you, does help in terms of finding your way in. And those roles also help you to what's it called? Those roles also help you to get your service, years of service. With those years of service, it brings in a lot of things. After how many years? After 5 years, entry level starting going into the NHS for annual leave is 27 days. It will be prorated if you are part time, but it's 27 days for full time staff. After 5 years, it becomes 29 days. After 10 years, it becomes 33 days, which is what I'm enjoying at the moment, which I'm loving. I'm having too many holidays to know what to do with them. So, yeah. Anyways, that I digress. So, even if you are part time working as a porter, working as a cleaner, working as a healthcare assistant, and you've started working as a student, maybe you came to to school, and your schooling is for 3 years, for example. You already have 3 years experience before you've even started proper job in the NHS. Then you then now get into NHS proper as a full-time worker. Year four, 4 years of experience. In the next 1 year, that's 5 years of experience in the NHS. By that year five, you're on 29 days annual leave, full 29 days once if you're a permanent staff. In another 5 years, which I know you're going to want to stay in the NHS, That's 3 days of annual leave, and you get all. So depending on, if, for example, if you get pregnant, or your wife gets pregnant, you are entitled to those all those benefits from the NHS. You get pension as well. The pension is amazing. I think pension is about maybe 20% now, so 22%. I can't remember what it is, but they just take it out of our salary every month. So yes, so those are the kind of things that you get. You shouldn't you shouldn't what's it called, worry about if you're a student or not. Yeah, apply. I think apply as a part time. Apply is a very good way of getting your feet wet into the NHS. And most of these Bantu roles, they're not really hard to get. So yeah. Um, Cook boy, you didn't see my email address. I'm coming, Dana. I know you're still there. I'm still looking at you. Ah, the human resources playbook. I don't know why you're not seeing it. Other people have seen it. I'm replying to you, the one that says you didn't get my email. So it's the human resources playbook at gmail.com. So hopefully you can see that. Um, okay, yeah. So that's I've done mentees deals. Let me go to YouTube now. Okay. So you're talking about the supporting statement and the use of AI to do the corrections for your English, for it to help you to rewrite your answer. I wouldn't want you to use AI too much, especially if that trust has specifically said don't do it. So try to avoid the use of AI. Just try to write in as natural as possible. Okay. I'm really sorry about the network breaking. I saw many roles that require UK's driver's license or experience in the NHS, but they are willing to offer COS. The UK, for driving license, it's very important, especially when you're doing like community roles or you're doing district roles. Those are really essential because you would need to be able to go to your clients' houses and attend to them, because most of this, especially for those community roles and outreach roles and all that, you would need to be able to go to those places, and you will need a car, because there's some places that there's no good public transport system in place in some counties in the UK. They ask you about those driver's license because the trains are amazing in London, so they wouldn't really bother much about driving license in London. But the thing about driving license now is that it is so hard to get a date for driving license test. I mean, for driving test, it's so hard. What I would say to anybody that is trying to look for roles in the NHS, start doing your driving lessons now. Invest in doing your driving test now. So do your theory. That's quite easy to do online. You kind of go to the center and do it, read up on it, and do your theory test. You have 2 years to be able to 2 years for that theory test to be valid, for you to be able to then do your practical test. So what I would say to you, do your theory and start practicing for your driving tests. I'm checking online to see what dates are available for you to be able to do that test. Once you have it, book it, because it's really essential, especially if you're going to be doing those roles. Yeah. Experience in the NHS. That's why I said if you can try and get into the NHS by any means possible at the beginning when you're freshly in, do it. That's your experience in the NHS. Experience in a healthcare setting might not necessarily be NHS. It might be homes. It might be supported living. It might be somewhere charity organizations. It might be somewhere that has health setting, private sector that has health setting. That's the kind of experience that they would need. It's not every role. I've really not seen a lot of roles that say specifically NHS experience. I've not really seen a lot. So it's really subjective for that kind of role that you're going for. And they are willing to offer sponsorship because driver's license is now becoming like gold. People are finding it hard to get those driving licenses. So yes, you need to ensure that you have those driving license. Yeah. Um, I used to be confused. Yeah, I'm so sorry that you're confused about it. So Um, yeah, I'm not sure what you're confused about, Dina. So let me know. Ask your questions there. Let me know. Um, about the questions. Coke boy, have you gotten the email address now? Menti Dio said, I applied for one. I was told that I'm not fit for the position. What position did you apply for? How did you apply for the role? And what did you put in your application? What role did you apply for? And what did you put in your application? Yeah. So let me know at the bottom and let me see how you are not fit for the role. Unfortunately, we can't move forward with the application. It's probably what you wrote in the application that made them say that they couldn't move forward with the application. So you need to ensure that you're writing your application properly. In as much as, yeah, it's a band two or band three role, you still need to do those applications properly. You need to write them properly. There's an art form to writing NHS application. That's the thing. If you've been in the NHS for that for as long as I've been, is an art form. And I do shortlisting, I do interviewing, I sit on interview panels weekly, I shortlist constantly. What else do I do? I recruit as well a lot. So it's, oh my goodness, sorry about that noise. Yeah. What are you doing wrong? Mentizios, you might need to speak to me about what you're doing wrong and we can look at application. So this dress, I'm sure you would have seen it where Coke Boy. Um Yeah, I'll reply. Sorry, I'm just trying to write because I'm having to change it quite a bit. I replied to Coke Boy, and I've just sent you my email address, Mentis Dios. So yeah, playbook at G. If you Coke Boy, if you go through the chat, you would find my email address. My son is just getting down from the bed. Scared me. If you go onto my if you go through the chat, you will find my email address somewhere. Yeah. So yes. I might have to put this off on YouTube. Sorry about that. Yeah. So yeah. So did you get it now? So it's the human resources. Colin said, when you do, Kathleen does the specification, do you need to apply? Depends on what specifications you don't meet. Depends on what specifications you don't meet. Would determine if you still need to apply. If you don't just meet the desirable, if you don't just meet the desirable ones, then you can still apply if you meet the essential. The essential criteria are the most important things for the essential criteria. So if once you meet that, you're fine. Once you meet that, you're fine. Yeah, well, I used to skip that section. I used to be confused in the job application. I used to see it. If they specifically mention that you need NHS experience in that advert, yes, you might need to have that NHS experience. But if they haven't mentioned it as an essential, meet the essential criteria. That's what you really need to meet. Sorry, to be able to apply for roles. Okay. I'm glad you got it, Cookboy. You're welcome. Yes. So that's all the questions on there on TikTok. I think I've answered everybody on TikTok. Oh my goodness, this boy. I've answered everybody on TikTok. Any more questions? Any more questions? I'm actually enjoying it. Enjoying this live. Yeah, sugar. Yeah. Lord. Yeah, my boy's awake now. So yeah, might need to wrap up because once he's awake, he wouldn't let me do anything else. But I hope I've been able to answer everybody's question. This was going to be a really good session for us to be able to just talk about how to get into the NHS. In the interview. So each time we always have this sheet of paper with the questions on there. I think this is one of my questions. Yeah, one of the questions from one of the interviews that I did. Because for some reason they never give me the interview questions beforehand. They always just print it out for me, use it as kept it to kind of use having any relevant experience about you not having in the answers that you've provided. That means you haven't even said anything. They've asked you A and you've told them Z. That's what that zero means. Then one means that much less than acceptable evidence has been given. So significantly below the criteria, sorry, significantly below the criteria for much less than criteria for a successful job performance. No or sparse evidence given of competencies or experiences does not support assertions or ability with any details of experience. Then when you get your two is less than acceptable, generally does not meet the criteria for successful job performance, as presented either insufficient evidence or unsupported evidence of abilities. Evidence does not show sufficient experience or is unconvincing, relies on hypothetical answers to. There are times that you should just tell us what you've experienced. If you haven't experienced it, I would always say, even if you've not experienced it in the health setting, you would have experienced time management or team working, maybe from doing other things, team working in your family, working in church, working in a group, working in school. There are ways for you to bring in those answers in there. Communication skills, communicating with your family, communicating with your friends. Those are ways for you into answers. You don't know. Inez is published as well. Please, please, please. Thank you. Sorry about that, guys. So for three, That's an acceptable answer or for successful job applications. You've provided sufficient quality and quantity of evidence of competence to undertake the role. Answers are often drawn from experience and demonstrate potential. I'm just going to flip this back to myself. So, with this answer of three, do you know sometimes if you get threes all through your interview, you might get the job? And that depends on the caliber of people that have come to interview with you on that day. So, in that kind of situation, it's just the draw of the luck. If you have good people that have interviewed with you that day and they've all been scoring fours, chances of you getting the job is very slim. But on a good day that you've just interviewed and the best score that we could give people on that day was threes, you've gotten a job. Because probably would have said maybe we asked maybe about 5 questions. We've asked about 5 questions. And out of those five, so that's 5 times 5, 25, we wanted 20. And you that you've scored three times five is 18. Okay, no. Maybe we wanted 18 out of 25. That was our cutoff mark. Let's say that's what the cutoff mark. And you that scored three in all your answers from the 5 questions, you're getting that job because you've already met the shortlisting, the minimum score that you need to get to be appointable. You've gotten that score. So, but it really depends. But where you really want to sit, when I tell all my clients, is in the fours. With the fours, what it means is that more than acceptable. You've exceeded the criteria for a successful job performance. You've supported competence with compelling details of experience. You've demonstrated past abilities at or beyond the required level in this person's specification. That's what the four is. So with the four, they've asked you, how did you manage a team? You've talked about how you've communicated, how you've delegated, what you've done, the actions you've taken to ensure that everything works smoothly. Then after that, you've now gone ahead to say, following from that, I now implemented this, I now did this, I now did that. Extra things that you've done to make that team better in terms of your team working or your communication skills. Then you now reflected, after you said your answer, you now reflected on, okay, on reflection, I now did this. On reflection, I now did that. I've been able to do this, I've been able to do that as part of the answer to that question. Oh, thank you guys. We've reached our live goal. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Mentor Diaz. I really appreciate all that. Oh my goodness. Oh wow. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah. So you've been able to do this, you've been able to do that. That's going above and beyond of what is expected. And that also relates to giving an answer for a five, where we talk about much more considerable demonstrated experience confide in the person's specification. So maybe they've asked you for A in the question and you've given them ABC. That's what that five is. Five is always like a unicorn to us. For you to get a five, you probably get a 4.5, but maybe not a full five, because five is like a unicorn. That means you've actually wowed us. We can't even fault that answer. That's what a five is. So ensuring that you're very detailed. I tell my clients always, don't feel as if you're talking too much. When you have the star answer at the back of your head, when you think about the situation, that's the S for the star. You talk about the situation. The situation was an unruly patient or unruly relative. Oh my goodness, my children. Bear with me one moment, please. Sorry. I'll charge your phone. Okay. Fine, you to leave it. Thank you. Give me 1 minute. Sorry, guys. All right. So yes, where was I? Yeah. So that's for the five. So that's for the five answer. So you need to go above and beyond. That's the S is the situation of the unruly patient or the unruly relative. The T is the task that person is seen brought down, the level of aggression is brought down. That's your task that you needed to do. What actions did you take in this situation? Did you speak to you, put them in a separate room? Did you try to listen to them? Did you validate their fears? Did you validate their concerns? Did you try to offer solutions? Did you what are all the steps that you took to ensure that that situation has been resolved? That's the action part of it. Who did you go to? Who did you ask for information from? Did you speak to other people? Did you delegate work? While you were doing all these actions, how about the other jobs that you needed to do? What was happening to that? What did you do with that aspect of things? Then you round it off in terms of ensuring that that person has been seen. So what was the result of all these actions that you've done? What was the result? The patient was calm, you were able to resolve whatever it was, or you had to transfer the patient somewhere else to go and get the information from the right person. Did you have to go to this, all what you've done? Then you reflected on the actions of what has happened on that day. You reflected on how you could improve that situation next time in terms of, do we need to put out notices? Do we need to ensure that we're speaking more to the to our clients or to their relatives on a deeper level and all that kind of stuff? So these are ways of you getting that five. These are ways of you getting that four. Extra things that you've done to ensure that you're answering that question properly. That is just a quick snippet um of answering. I mean, for interviewing, really. That's just a quick snippet. Yeah. Okay. I'm just trying to go through everybody. Hi, Buka. Welcome, 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 everybody. Welcome to this live. Oh my goodness. Okay. So Dina, I haven't forgotten you on YouTube. I haven't forgotten you truthfully. So Dina said, Um, do further questions in the application count? Yes, further questions in the applications do count. It is an extra thing that they want to know. If they've put it there, you need to answer them. If they put a word count, you need to try and get to as much as the word count, as close as possible. That's what you need to ensure that you're doing. Those further questions, they do count and they do matter. That might be the difference between you getting shortlisted and not getting shortlisted. So do not ignore them. They are there for a reason. They are there for a reason. So ensure you're answering them, Dina, if you do see further questions in the application. Yeah, because after you've written your supporting statement, you do see some further questions that might be start asking how you made the specification. Yes, because I'm guessing that in that kind of situation, that is not the first time that that role has been put out because the managers do not have time. No time. They are too busy. They do not have time. They don't have time to, what's it called? They don't have time to shortlist so much. Those sometimes they'll probably start with those further questions before they even start shortlisting to even know if it's even worth their while to look at your application properly. Shortlisting takes hours, sometimes days, depending on how many people have applied for a role. If you see a lot of roles out there, they will put that. I think I even saw one today. Where is it? Because I have a lot of tabs opened all over my own laptop. I don't even know where anything is now. Um, I'm just trying to look for the right wording that they use. like band threes and band four roles, we always put a limit. Because if you don't put a limit, you get at least 200 applications because it's a 2 week period. Excuse me, and you're going to have to shortlist everybody before you can move on to even interview. You will have to shortlist everybody before you can move on for shortlisting. And each application is shortlisted by a human. Because I think someone asked me in my last slide, AI shortlist for us in the NHS. The NHS is not that rich for us to. It is public money that we have here in the NHS, so we do not waste money. We don't waste money. Even try to get like a pen sometimes it's like serious costing and a lot of hoops that you need to do before you even get a pen. But getting artificial intelligence to start shortlisting for us, we've not gotten there yet. I don't know if there's any trust that is out there that is using artificial intelligence to shortlist. I would like to know them because my trust, we do not use artificial intelligence to shortlist. Is the managers or someone like me that is going to be on the interview panel that would shortlist. It takes hours. It takes and be on their case because the recruitment also have and I see recruitment can be on their case in terms of that look, I am busy. I have better things to do with my time than shortlisting up and down the whole place. So yeah. Oh Lord, I'm just trying to know what screen I'm meant to be going into. Section score would be. So for example, let me see a job advert. Let's try and apply for a job on NHS Jobs. This is just an example. I'm not going through the full application. I'm not doing this in .NET. Let's go on Health Jobs UK. Uh, okay, so I found bank. Let's do a pharmacy technician to load for us. If it decides a job, I'm trying to apply to load and tell you what sections we actually shortlist on. Um, Let me see. Apply online. I don't want to use this. This is one of my clients' email address. This one. Let's sign in. I don't like this new code nonsense that they're doing. This code thing that they do, I don't like it. It annoys me a lot. It hasn't come through. Sorry, guys. I'm just waiting for the code to come through so I can log my my NHS job. So we're gonna try and see if we can apply for this role. Okay, it's come through. What's the code? Where are we? Ah, I don't know who told them to send this to make this thing so hard with this code nonsense. Okay, so we're going to apply for this. Let me see. Oh, YouTube, you wouldn't be able to see what I'm doing. That's the thing about it. YouTube wouldn't be able to see what I'm doing. But I'm just going to talk through because I'm going to flip my camera for TikTok. Uh, I'll just say, folks, I'll just say I'm a British citizen. Okay. So, Dina, on this one, this pharmacy tech role, there are some additional questions at the beginning stages that talks about your immigration status, and in there ask us about, do you possess GCSE Math English grade C slash 4 to 9 or functional skill level? We'll say yes. Have you, oh my goodness, this is even a good one that talks about this artificial intelligence that we've been talking about. Have you used artificial intelligence AI to complete any section of this application form? If yes, please confirm the reasons why AI was used to complete your application form. They've already said it here. And for people that I don't even know, would this be better if I do my screen this way? Look at it there. Hold on. Look at it. It clearly states it there about the use of AI in this one. This is part of the shortlisting questions. System says, but if you have used artificial intelligence in any way to complete any of the section, you need to declare it, unless they will be coming for you. Practice. So it just helps me. The sections that we shortlist. So we shortlist. Sorry, for shortlisting and scoring, we score education and professional qualification. We score relevant training courses attended. We score membership of professional bodies. We score NHS. We don't score NHS service. We score employer activity history, and we score supporting information. Those are like the main areas that we score, and that comes up um during the what's it called during the when you get the application form sent to you from recruitment. Everybody, their job advert is closed, and this is it. So that is a good one for us to be able to see. Yeah. um Adeyinka, thank you. I'll check my emails and I'll come back to you. Yeah, so those are the areas we score: education and professional qualification, relevant training courses, membership of professional bodies, employer slash activity history, and supporting information. So we can then say for the education and qualification, we can say for that scoring points in that section, it might say it's 5. at it, but it doesn't really matter if they had a gap, a significant gap. Yeah, we might want to know why you had that gap, but that will be discussed if you're shortlisted. And I mean, if you are selected as a person for the role, we can then start looking at the gaps in employment and why do you have that gap? Is it sickness? Is it is it taking care of someone um of your dependents or something? Yeah, that the main big daddy of that of this scoring is the supporting information. So with the supporting information, okay, let's get into it about this job. We'll then go into for the supporting information, the scoring. I'll then go into this. Just waiting for it to open. Okay, open up. Okay, so this is what the role looks for 689. How do you make those nine? This ones might be 2 marks as well. That's a brief supporting information and person specification. Total of this and would have like a minimum score that you need to get. So for example, in that knowledge and experience, knowledge and sorry, qualification and education, that was I said it was 2 marks each. So in that section, I might say, okay, the minimum score there is 246, might be 4 or 5 for you to be able to pass that one. And different ones, and we keep going down and down. So by the time we finish the whole scoring, we can say the whole application is meant you're meant to score the whole application. You're meant to score what's it called? Say for example, the whole application you're meant to score 50. This is just hypothetical number from my head. You're meant to score 50. And as in that's the total score for everything. And the minimum score for you to get shortlisted, I want you to score at least 40 as a minimum score. We score for you to get shortlisted for an interview. I hope I've answered your questions with that. I thought I grab that email address. Gina, don't worry.